Hi, welcome to FilmSauce. I'm FilmSauce, and in this Sawsy video, we're looking at Rise of the Planet of the Apes, released in 2011. Directed by Rupert Wyatt and written by the Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver writing group, whatever. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is about monkeys kind of just chilling around. Throughout this film, I'll also reward or negate source points, and at the end of the film, I'll tally them up to see if this movie truly is a sourceful time. Now, eat some bananas, go wild, and relax to FilmSauce Planet, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. The film starts in some jungle, with apes traversing the ground, until suddenly stopped when a wild human appears, or multiple wild humans, who proceed to chase the monkeys down, who all run into traps and get taken away. Later, we see an ape in some research facility, doing some smart stuff, getting high scores on games, exciting Green Goblin Jr., who later has a board meeting where he can dump some exposition on us. This lab has created something called ALZ-112, which allows the brain to make new cells, which can cure Alzheimer's. Hooray. But some lab boys have problems with a monkey who escapes containment and ruins the board meeting, ultimately getting shot and murdered, which is bad news for Gobby. But when he returns to the lab, he finds out the crazed monkey was crazed because she had a baby. And Gobby, being a good little goblin, takes the baby home and lets the baby ape meet his dad, the real Green Goblin, seemingly with Alzheimer's. And I enjoyed the exploration of this shitty disease in this film, so +1 source point for Alzheimer's, adding some flavour. In the morning, they find the baby monkey, despite being a day old, being smart enough to feed himself. So Gobby calls this ape Caesar, and we are blasted 3 years into the future when Gobby explains Caesar's evolution of smartness, and how he looks like his now actor Andy Serkis, who, if you didn't know, was in Lord of the Rings as Gollum, which produced the hit game Gollum. Anyway, we need to take a break from the fun monkey stuff and let Gobby handle the all-too-real threat of Alzheimer's in his dad. By stealing some ALZ from work and injecting it into Gobby Sr., in the morning it seems the meds worked for dear old dad, who wants to see Caesar, who has currently gone outside into a neighbour's house and gets attacked by a vicious man who injures Caesar. But the goblins swiftly defuse the situation and take Caesar to a zoo vet, where Caesar scores a date for Gobby. So guys, just get a monkey. The gang go ahead and take Caesar for a walk, where he climbs a huge bloody tree that ages him 5 years. Wait, no, it's been 5 years, and Caesar has a little moment with an angry dog, and questions himself. So Gobby shows Caesar the lab where he was born, and explains the drug that makes Caesar smart. Big day for Caesar. But bad news, as it seems Goblin Senior's Alzheimer's is returning with a vengeance. Despite the meds, because of a car mix-up, the neighbour gets very mad at Goblin Senior, so a mad Caesar attacks the neighbour, until Goblin Senior tells him to stop. But what's done is done, as Caesar has been placed in animal control, and Draco Malfoy places Caesar in a cage, surrounded by rabid monkeys. And with all these amazing looking rabid monkeys, I'm going to add 1 source point for the great CGI. It's bloody amazing. But back at home, Goblin Senior's condition is worsening, and Gobby, not wanting to lose another family member, so he goes back to the lab to upgrade ALZ, with the boss giving the okay to do so. Hooray. Back with Caesar, he proceeds to get terrorized by Draco Malfoy, but in the night, Caesar finds a stone and draws himself a diamond window, like his old attic room. So good for him. With Gobby Jr., he has now started back up the research on ALZ, with a 13 added at the end, where he meets a new monkey called Cobra. The scientists proceed to experiment on Cobra, except the experiment doesn't start off well, with Cobra breaking the guy's mask or something who inhales drug. The drug. But afterwards, Cobra shown over big brain, so it was worth it, the experiment. But now we quickly return to Caesar, who is in a play area with all other monkeys in animal control, where he is immediately bullied and beaten up by this one monkey, Rocket. But before the fight gets extreme, the two monkeys get tranked. Back in his cage, Caesar befriends an orangutan, who knows sign and warns Caesar that humans don't like smart apes. But Caesar gets to meet up with two humans who do. But Gobby sees something is wrong and threatens to close the place down, and he promises Caesar he will free him. Caesar is angered to not be freed, wiping his diamond off the wall. Later on, when Malfoy and his friend are bumming around, Caesar grabs one of the friends and steals a knife, which he later uses to unlock his cage. Caesar then proceeds to the play yard, where he frees a gorilla, Buck, who has a nice play round, but now Caesar takes revenge on his bully, with help from the gorilla. Back with the humans, Gobby is about to give Goblin Senior the meds, but the old man refuses and passes in his sleep. So all Gobby has now is Spider-Man. I mean his girlfriend. But who's at the door? It's the guy Gobby worked with, who was coughing up blood all over himself and this random guy. But that doesn't matter. What does matter is Gobby paying to get Caesar back, which, that's a lot of fucking money. But Caesar is a bit grumpy and refuses to go with Gobby Jr. And later that night, Caesar forces his old bully to feed everyone cookies. And when Maurice the orangutan questions Caesar later, he signs apes alone weak, apes together strong. And Caesar is creating his army. But late at night, Caesar escapes outside, goes back home where he steals the ALT drugs, and proceeds to use it on all caged apes to make them a bit more smarter. Later on, in the morning, the animal control boss is all ready to leave and looks out the window now towards the monkeys in containment and sees such a sight to behold. All apes are gathered around listening to the word of Caesar. Meanwhile, we see some landlords go into the co-worker guy's home, finding him dead from the disease he got. I'm sure that doesn't matter though. But now Caesar is confronting Malfoy, who proceeds to tase Caesar. The ape gets the upper hand on Malfoy and proceeds to say his first words. No. And this scene is bloody powerful, so +2 source points. Anyway, Caesar knocks Malfoy out, yelling, no, and frees all the apes, and imprising a guard, and killing Malfoy. The apes continue to monkey around and leave the building to freedom, but Gobby and girlfriend go to the monkey prison, finding the drug canisters, and the alive guard, who informs Gobby that his monkey said his first words. Shame when fathers miss out on the baby's first words. Caesar and his army proceed to enter Gobby's lab, freeing the apes, including Cobra, but that won't mean anything. Of all those silly apes freed, the army now visits the zoo, but not to indulge in family fun. Instead, they free the apes. The apes continue to terrorize the city with animal control and police helpless to do anything, but Caesar has his eyes set on a spot over the Red Arches. Caesar is leading his legions back to the Red Forest, but the police are stationed on the bridge, ready to hold off the ape attack. But Caesar makes a plan like any good military leader. In the meanwhile, Gobby is just trying to get to his ape, with monkeys beating up police all around him. But the apes have now reached the police line, who proceed to fire at the apes, who use a bus as cover. Very smart monkeys. Proven smarter when Caesar gallops in on a horse, leading the charge that actually works, and the apes cheer until getting mowed down by a helicopter, which Buck the gorilla takes down alone, sacrificing himself, because his wounds were too great and he dies in Caesar's arms. So sad. But hey, the boss man is alive. Never mind, Cobra fixed that. Now Gobby, who is hasn't done much to stop Caesar at this point, besides saying his name, hijacks a car and tracks Caesar to the Red Forest, where Gobby is attacked by Cobra and dies. Never mind, Caesar is here, helps Gobby up, where Gobby asks Caesar to come home, and in response, Caesar whispers in his ear, Caesar is home. What an iconic, great moment, +2 source points. Anyway, Caesar climbs up the big trees with his monkey brethren following him, so for the final shot they can look at San Francisco. And that was FilmSauce Rise of the Planet of the Apes. How about we just don't monkey around and get straight to the source points? Rise of the Planet of the Apes had gained 6 source points. Very nice. But nothing got negated. Once again, very nice. So this ends at an even 6 source points. And well, that's it. This is the video. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is finished, and I will go on to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes in my next video. Have a good night and goodbye. And subscribe. Do that. Bye.